About a year ago, his 5-year-old daughter was killed while crossing the street in Andover. And then last week, the father gets hit by a truck while cycling. So now he's more motivated than ever for safer streets in Andover. NBC 10's Mary Marcos joins us live in Andover tonight with more on this story. Mary.
Well, you can already see some of the change the Olson family has made here in the Elm Street intersection. There's brighter crosswalk lights, no turn on red signs, but it's clear there's more work that needs to be done after a close call for Eric Olson.
Everything just came flooding back at that moment.
Eric Olson was riding down Woburn Street in Andover last week.
It was the day after my daughter's birthday, so it's been a really heavy week.
When all of a sudden he was staring down the grill of a Ford F-150.
Hit my bike and took me out and spun me out into a driveway across the street. All I could say is my daughter was killed by a truck.
5-year-old Sidney Olson was hit by a tractor trailer while riding her scooter at the intersection of Main and Elm Streets in May of 2023.
You know, when I was laying there, one of the things I was just thinking of was just, how did I get out of this and Sid didn't?
Sidney's parents turning the tragedy into an opportunity to make change, co-founding the Rainbow Fund.
There's 3 things that we focus on as an organization. We focus on safe streets, safe vehicles, and active kids.
Olson says streets should be designed not just to move cars faster, but to keep cyclists and pedestrians safe too.
There are cities and towns that are starting to think about this in a much more forward-looking way.
Congressman Seth Moulton is working to pass legislation that does just that.
But for too long in America, car has just been king, and everyone else has had to fall in line.
They say people like Sidney, 4-year-old Gracie, who was killed by a truck in the Seaport, and the Gaudreau brothers, who died while cycling in New Jersey, are more than a statistic.
Unfortunately, it takes stories like this to raise awareness of the problem, because we're so conditioned to think that this is normal, that our transportation system is designed to protect us when it's not.
Now, Eric Olson says there is a lot more work to be done, not just here, but across the country to save approximately 7,000 lives lost walking or biking every year. Live in Andover, Mary Marcos, NBC 10 Boston.